Greetings. My name is Louis Molina, and I'm the host of Life Puro. Today, I have with me Jennylynn Hunter, who is our sales account manager for Drew Estate. So with that, Jennylynn, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome back to the States, huh?
Yes, this is my first time back in Louisiana since last year.
Okay.
But I came for Fat Tuesday.
Did you really? Did you come up here to New Orleans for Mardi Gras?
Mobile on Friday, then Mobile Thursday, Biloxi Friday. No, wait, sorry. Whatever got me to Tuesday in New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah,
Monday, Jesus, I had my boss with me and he made me a little frazzled.
Oh,
I drove all the way out from Texas to Alabama one day, picked my boss up at the airport, and then had to be like, on my best behavior.
Right. So,
until Fat Tuesday. And then he said, okay, JL, have fun.
Yeah. So were you in Mobile during any carnival celebrations?
Yes, but we didn't.
Because they brag as they're the first Mardi Gras in the U.S.
So hold up. So if you Google it, because I'm a big researcher and I want to know my information and if it's correct or not, when I Googled it, so Ernie's from Mississippi and my boss. And he also is he lived in New Orleans and he says, yeah, Mobile, they always claim they got #1 and they brought it to the States. Well, if you Google it, they did. They are the #1 or the first people who started Mardi Gras in
the U.S.
In the U.S.
Right.
However, if you talk to New Orleans, like y'all, or anybody from Louisiana, they were like, yeah, they may have started it, but Louisiana keeps it and does it right. There's that.
Yeah.
So I think
no disrespect to Mobile, but
no.
when someone in this country wants to do Mardi Gras,
yes.
New Orleans or Mobile.
Yeah, and I think if you have a family with small children, I think Mobile and Biloxi would be your route. Now, I'm not knocking New Orleans because there's a ton of parades that are family. I mean, most of them are family, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. I've been to some of them. It's a wonderful time with families, kids. It's not like that drunken mess that you picture. Does happen, but that's more if you go down into the quarter. So, But anyway. But yeah, it's worth it, everything. I mean, all of them. Every single one is great. They're all something different. They're beautiful. The families, the people, the floats, the costumes, it's amazing. Yeah. And there's so many people who travel everywhere, all over the world that were there. In each one, we were there's just so many people. So it was fun. Yeah.
No, I actually, one of these years, I hope to go to Mobile just to check it out.
Yeah.
But that is true in that anyone, however they want to celebrate Mardi Gras in Louisiana or the coast, can do it either the family way of just calm and you can bring your kids out without worry, or you can do the extreme party, college, get just blackout on Bourbon Street and everything in between. So that's what I think is cool about it.
Now, question is, why doesn't Baton Rouge do it?
I have a little insight to that.
So you go New Orleans, obviously. You have it. Then you come to Baton Rouge. You don't. Then you go to Lafayette. They have one.
Right.
What the hell y'all doing?
So here's the thing. Mardi Gras, as I don't know if you know, it's basically a Catholic / Christian holiday. It's the last big giant parade or, just craziness before the Lenten season where you're supposed to be a little more somber, I guess. Or
not eat meat.
Yeah. Me too.
Or sweets or indulge.
Yeah. So
repent and recover is the Wednesday after Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nurse that hangover.
Yes. Yep. And repent for all the sins you just had last night.
Exactly. And that tradition started in Europe, in the Middle Ages, I think. So,
which was actually started with a paganism thing. It was actually more of a celebration before spring. Had nothing to do with Catholicism. It was a paganism, and it was 2 Spaniards that started it in the 1600s or something like that.
Come on.
Yes. See, my research goes deep.
Yeah, nice. Well, to answer your question, why it skips the celebrations in Baton Rouge is New Orleans and Lafayette are more culturally similar in that they're both very Catholic. They have French influence, Spanish influence. Well, mostly French. Baton Rouge is more of an English origin. This is an English stronghold.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they didn't celebrate the Catholic kind of celebrations like New Orleans and Lafayette. However, with that being said, this town is having more and more parades. It's just not on Mardi Gras Day. Gotcha. They have a big one called Spanish Town on the Saturday before Mardi Gras. which is
so
kind of
they
like the
have
Endymion for Baton Rouge. It's like it's big, it's kind of crazy.
Really?
I've never actually been to it, but I've heard. Yeah, it's like
Do they have floats and all of that kind of stuff?
they have floats.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have something.
Yeah, but not on Mardi Gras Day. It seems
Yeah.
to stop. Now they just had a new crew on Lundy Gras night, which is the Monday night before Fat Tuesday. But I hadn't been to that. I think I heard it's more of like a family
Oh, that's
kind
cool.
of crew. And then they have one right here across the street in our neighborhood. The
Really?
crew of Southdowns. Yeah.
That's kind of nice. You just step outside your house. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think
more
that's-
neighborhood. Yeah.
I know. I love
Yep.
it. And people just step outside. They set up their cookers and whatever they're gonna grill, and
Yeah.
it's just
Smoke
so
cigars.
Yeah, they smoke cigars. They all hang out.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Hey, come over here." It's family oriented. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of when my friends and I went to Pamplona, Spain to see the running of the bulls.
Oh, that's badass.
It's kind of the same in
Yeah.
that there are some aspects that can be kind of crazy and
Of course.
drunk.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, like you go into these little neighborhoods, it's very family oriented.
Yeah.
So it's, I think it's kind of cool.
I love that. I think that's wonderful. Did you smoke any good cigars over there?
I did. I brought a lot of my own.
You should, because
But
they don't have a lot of distribution over there.
Yeah. Is Drew Estate, do you know offhand if they have any
In
distribution in Spain right now?
Spain, I'm not sure. I know that we have it in now Hungary, Bulgaria,
Okay.
Turkey, there was somewhere else. That we are moving that
Okay.
way. Like it's hard over there because like every country has their own way of taxing and I guess their laws
Yeah.
on tobacco are completely different and so far different. They're so completely different than ours or any other country they're next to. So like some countries don't even allow to import tobacco into them. So like it's a lot. So and with that being said, like the tobacco cost just to ship it or export it, it's a whole kerfuffle, but we're working there because actually they're wanting more of our tobacco here, or not here, but our tobacco that the manufacturers in America are making. Well, not in America, but
Yeah, what's available, I guess, in the American market?
Yes.
Europe wants now, too.
because Cubans last year went up almost $100 per cigar.
Oh, it's crazy.
So, like,
Yeah.
if you go anywhere,
Like the Cohiba, yeah.
yeah, a
It's-
Cohiba,
yeah.
like whatever, a Cohiba number 2 or whatever it is. No, it's not. It's a Partagas number 2. It's like $75 for a freaking Bellicoso. Like, what the hell? Like, I mean, some people got that kind of dough, but if you're just looking to like, buy a box and you're going to spend $1,500 on a box, it's just a little insane. Like when you can go buy something Nicaraguan based
Yeah, like
and
an Undercrown. Like,
Yeah.
what would this retail? Like 10 bucks?
Yeah. So, but again,
Yeah.
it's completely different. So, but they're asking and they're wanting more stuff from us. So, not just Drew Estate, but all manufacturers. So, like,
Yeah, all the non-Cuban type of manufacturers.
yes. And Intertobac is their like PCA.
Okay.
And
Have you been?
no, I'm not international. I've been trying to get on that team. If y'all out there listening,
Right, exactly.
jail's ready.
I know. I've always wanted to go check out that trade
Oh my
show.
gosh, yeah. It's amazing. It's kind of funny though, because like I've only seen it online and I've obviously talked to some of our ambassadors like Pedro Gomez. He is one of their spokesmen there, obviously, because he's a spokesman for us here in the States. And he says it's wonderful, but it's very different. It's very like some of our events are kind of crazy and people say what they want and have all the fun. But this is like
More refined, like more gentleman,
refined,
like yeah.
more posh.
Yeah, yeah.
People wear suits.
the European
and-
sentiment kind of
Yes,
thing. Yeah.
and they're actually starting to smoke a little bit heavier than their typical prior. So over there, cigars are probably 2 times what they cost here. So for a European person, it's harder to smoke 4 to 5 cigars a day because that would be like $1,000 budget a day. And like people don't have money like that, right? So they tend to smoke less, which makes them go lighter in profile. So, but now they're getting different cigars imported that are a little bit cheaper than Cuban, so they're starting to smoke a little bit more, and they're asking for more of those more bodied cigars, like our Liga Privada, our Undercrown 10. So they're asking for more heavier bodied, which that has never really happened. I've been in this industry for like 25 years, and European market has always been like medium, slightly medium full, or lighter bodied, right? So, but I think it's cool. So like the whole tobacco world is going to change in the next 10 years, 1,000%. So. Yeah.
Yeah, in Europe, in the international markets.
Here.
And then, the ramifications it has for America. Because Because I heard, I'm not going to reveal the manufacturer, but one manufacturer's been plagued with back orders. We just kind of learned why. And we thought maybe it was like lack of rollers or supply chain issues. They're trying to allocate some of the product to the international market. And they just can't, like, it's swallowing up availability for the American consumers.
Okay, so let me ask you this from a consumer point of view or a retailer point of view, not a manufacturer point of view. If you have been doing business with certain partners, like say a retailer, we'll start with retail, then we'll go to consumer.
Okay.
You've been doing business with the retailer for 20 years. You've always had a nice supply. Of course, things back ordered, that's normal. That's the product.
Right.
It's a product. So with that being said, that manufacturer decides to take the allotment and take your allotment and cut it down by 25, even if it's 65%, because I know exactly who you're talking about, and you don't see that product on the shelves. So they take it and they cut it 65% because they're serving, they opened more people in America and they're now serving an international market.
Asia or the Middle East or
So
Europe.
how does that make you as a retailer who's been supporting them for 20 years and you're not asking for anything more than they've been giving you and they can't give you it? How does that make you feel? Like, does that make you want to still support that manufacturer? Like, what is that?
So, like, my view of that is, okay, I understand, but I mean, in my view, they also should have like prepared for that and maybe only kind of, increase the supply for the international market step by step to take care of the market that built you. But all right, then I'm just going to have to adapt. I'm not going to get mad about it. I'll find another supplier who is hungry and wants to get on the shelf.
Yeah.
So I feel this is a good time for, like, say, the new companies or the boutiques coming into the the scene to give them a shot. But yeah, I don't know.
I just always wondered because
I don't take it personal, but
it's not personal because it's business.
It is kind of like disappointing.
It is.
But it's like, all right, well, I mean, there's plenty of other people I can go to.
But imagine the consumer who's been supporting you with that brand for 20 years. Right. How does that? So you are a business mindset. You have others to choose from, but that consumer is like heart set on that brand.
Yeah, that's a tough.
That's where it's hard because that's when you, as the retailer, have to tell them that it's back ordered. They don't believe you. They go to online. They go to other channels or go to other stores, whatever it is. But it makes you look like you're lying. So that's the difficult part, and that's where I'm always wondering, like, how retailers mitigate that, like, because it is a difficult conversation. Because retailer to consumer, consumers, no offense out there, but y'all don't do your homework or you don't read.
And there's like an asymmetric information kind of thing going on, right? They don't always know what we're dealing with.
Yep.
We don't always know what the manufacturer's doing either.
Yep.
So it's a weird kind of.
Yep.
So I get, like, consumers even have told us, like, man, you're just not ordering it from us. It's like, or from the manufacturer, like, and we try to be transparent and civil. It's like, I mean, look, it's hurting me. I want to sell it. I want to have it.
Yep.
It's not, and I feel like we do maybe an average to above average, like ordering kind of procedure. Like we're not the shop that just waits on a rep to come in to order. Yeah. Like if we need it, like we're gonna be proactive.
You order it. Yeah.
We'll email or call, whatever we got to do. So it's not like we're the ones.
No, I know, but
sometimes it can, but like most of the time it's not. But they don't believe that, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
And I get it.
Yes,
I get it.
Yes, and like you obviously have your loyal customers like that don't go to other businesses or whatever, and they may go to online here or there, but But then if they find it at another store. Because that store doesn't sell it like you do. Now you become in that space that you are the liar, right? But you're not. It's just you sell it more than that other brick and mortar down the road or more than the person selling it online or whatever, wherever they found it.
We've had the same thing. Like we'll have a certain SKU that just doesn't sell here.
Yep.
Someone comes in and sees it and he's like, man, that's back ordered online and everywhere. I can't get it. Like y'all have it. It's like, and I'll actually tell them like, we just don't sell it. Like everywhere else maybe sells out.
Different demographics everywhere. I mean, you could be 5 miles down the road from another shop. You have different demographics than they do. It's just the way it goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
But I'm glad you brought that kind of dynamic to just the conversation because a lot of end consumers don't know that.
Well,
Heck, I think some retailers and manufacturers don't understand like what we know or don't know.
Yes, and for now speaking on the manufacturing side, we distribute or we make, not just distribute, but we sell Liga Privada. And Liga Privada is a brand that you can only get in certain of our retailers because they've done business with us, they support us, we support them, and the program is called Drew Diplomat Program, which you all know because you're in it.
Yeah, but again, give insights to people listening that don't understand.
Agreed. Like a lot of the consumers don't understand, but like some consumers will go to a liquor chain that has Liga Privada in it and say, well, I go to my brick and mortar all the time. Why don't they have it? And down the road, you can go to the liquor chain with the walk-in humidor that has it. And why? And then you have to explain that one scenario. They don't know how to sell Liga Privada.
Right,
they don't have people like you who are actual like cigar aficionados and know what they're talking about and can sell it. Like certain products don't sell in those kinds of markets because they don't have the staff nor the time to train their staff because it's a liquor store. Their primary business is liquor, you know? So I get that a lot from my consumers at events. Like when I'm doing an event with you or whomever, it doesn't matter. I get that all the time. Like, well, why did they sell it? And I'm like, well, they have it because they don't know what they have. And I said, have you ever tried to smoke one out of one of those humidors? And, you know, I get the mixed reviews. Well, they don't take care of it. And I said, well, this is why you go to the brick and mortars and you get it when you get it. And then when it's gone, you'll get it next month because, you know, it comes in small allotments. We don't want that brand to just sit all over the place. We want you to buy it, smoke it, enjoy it, and get ready for the next allotment.
Have you seen the Liga Privada allocation? Like, how has that changed? Have they caught up or... Still kind of like, I know there were issues with certain tobacco components. Like everyone's been playing with the Connecticut broadleaf.
Well, yeah. Well, broadleaf, you know, so it's funny about broadleaf. So broadleaf back in the day was a leaf that nobody wanted. We used it for filler leaf, right? Like nobody was ever going to use it for a wrapper. It was too oily. It was too thick. It was too hard to manipulate, right? And it's grown in Connecticut, which is a volatile market for the tobacco, meaning like the weather, the rain. I mean, there's so many components to growing that it is very difficult. So, and there's not a lot of growers anymore. Like a lot of those farmers that used to grow tobacco in Connecticut, they sold off because they couldn't make any money. They needed to feed their families. So they sold their properties and, you know, houses went up or, you know, dollar store, who knows? But there's not that many of them out there. Wow. So, when we used broadleaf on Liga Privada, we brought this leaf to life. But before that, it was used primarily by the weed channel. Well, it wasn't weed back in the day. It was Philly blunts. Okay. But everybody kind of knows Phillies, you know.
We know.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. So back in the day, broadleaf was Philly. Like you were smoking Philly blunts. I mean, obviously you weren't smoking the Philly blunt unless you cracked it open and put the other stuff in there. But
I'm sure there are some aficionados of the Philly, like just smoking as is, like, this is a great vintage.
Yeah, this is like broadleaf.
Yeah, exactly.
This is before broadleaf was broadleaf. Yep. But no. But so anyway, so with that being said, so now we still contend with that because the weed industry is now legal in certain states and so forth and so on, and it's growing massively. And we are fighting for the same tobacco that they use for their certain, I don't know, like whatever they wrap their
they're in competition with the same product we use, huh?
Yes.
Oh man, I didn't think about the cannabis sector.
So the cannabis sector is also pulling for that market. Now it's not just Drew Estate who uses broadleaf. Now it's like every other company that you know of is going to try and get some of that tobacco. So, and again, where it's grown is very difficult. So it gets, you know, it'll have like there was like I forget what it's called, but it's like a little tornado on land. It's called like a microspurt or something like that. Oh, it took out like the whole crop like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 5 now. I don't know. I've been doing this a long time, but it ruined 2 or 3 crops, which then in turn doesn't ruin what's happening now. It ruins like 2 to 5 years down the line, which is what we felt last year when Liga was, you know, desecrated in the market because we just didn't have enough. Yeah. And so now it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. So yes, you will see more of it in the market. And we just added to our Liga Privada 9 H99, and H99 is it's a hybrid. So you're getting the best of 2 worlds. You're getting a Criollo and you're also getting a broadleaf, and we mitate the seeds, and it it's not number 9 or T52 body. T52 is going to be that stock cut. So you're going to get a little bit more bite, a little bit more fullness in the beginning. I mean, it's still strong and it's still delicious, but it's a little bit stronger than number 9. Number 9's a broadleaf, right? So it's going to have that oily, the smoke, the naturally heavy smoke. But then H99 falls beneath that. It is more a medium, depending on your palate, could be full, but if you're a smoker, it's medium bodied, earthy. It's well balanced. It's not a powerhouse. That's not what it was meant for. And I feel like people see it and they're like expecting that number 9 or T52 pop, and it's not.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's completely different. And it's meant to be that. We needed something else to mitigate. Like, some people can't smoke Liga because it's too strong. So we wanted something that was of our top line, our crown, if you will, not the undercrown.
Right. Like this one. Yeah.
Yes. Not like this one either, which I love regular undercrown. I haven't smoked it in a very long time. I've been stuck on undercrown 10 for a minute. Okay. And I was like, oh, I haven't
going back to the classic.
Yes. It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
it is.
Anyway, but back to that. So H99 is meant to be a medium, slightly full, depending on your palate, earthy, beautiful. It's really well balanced, easy cigar. So if you're not like a Liga number 9 or T52 person, I would definitely try H99. Okay. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah. And shameless plug, we have it available for sale in store and online. So And the H99, y'all started too with the Papas Fritas size. Well, the little small format.
We didn't start
or
with
not.
that.
I mean, just offer it. Initially,
so,
or early on. Or no.
No. So we did the lottery. Do you remember? And during COVID, we did the lottery for Liga 10, our anniversario, the 10 count black box, and then we did the lottery for H99 Toro or Robusto, whatever one. But we did a lottery for it in the beginning because we didn't have enough products. So now it comes out. Well, H99 and Liga 10 come out with your allocation. You're not getting 5 boxes. You're getting like 1 or 2, if that, because it's Liga. It ages longer than any of our tobaccos. So it takes longer to get to you. And especially if we don't have the tobacco and if it's not ready, we're not a company that's going to put anything out there subpar. It's just not going to happen. We make cigars. We're not growers. We're not anything else. We don't claim to be like the guy in the tobacco field or the woman in the tobacco field growing the tobacco. That is not our thing. We'll buy everybody's tobacco and we'll make the best cigars in the market. My opinion. I know I'm biased. I hope you are. I do love a lot of other brands, though, I will say. But I love Drew Estate. They're easy to smoke. They're good. I mean, you got such a good base of a portfolio. Like, I can hit anybody's palate. Don't matter. It does not matter who you are, what you do, what you like. I got it for you. And leading into that, actually.
Here you go.
So we have this thing called Freestyle Live. And I'm pretty sure you've probably seen it. We started it during COVID, actually, when we were all stuck at home doing nothing and we were playing on Facebook or Instagram. We were definitely, drinking more, smoking more, loving life more. But anyway, we started this, and this is our way of allowing consumers as well as our retailers to try products before we actually launch them as either a brand, a line extension, or what have you. So right now, you can probably go to shops around the country that have picked up these kits called Freestyle Live. They're like orange and red, and it says Drew Estate Freestyle Live on it. There are 3 cigars that come within the pack, and I'm not telling you what they are because they won't be revealed until March 14th, but I will ask your opinion on them in a second. But
I hadn't smoked it yet. I'm going to, though.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Damn.
I know.
Well,
I got to buy one now.
Yeah. No, we sent you some.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Wait,
I don't think Pop sent me that.
Oh, he kept it for
Yeah,
himself.
probably. Oh, I was thinking today. I'm going to tell him.
Yes, because you guys had
That's
2
right.
kits.
You gave us.
Yeah, we always give the retailers definitely something to sample so that you can all as well. So you don't have to buy the kit because obviously we're all here. Retail and manufacturer, we're here. It's a partnership. We're going to make you money. You're going to make us money. It's a partnership, right? But anyway, so going back to the kit, inside the kit, you're going to get 3 free cigars in the black pouch. And then you're also going to get a Freestyle ticket that has a QR code on it. And on that QR code, all you do is like every other QR code, you point your camera to it and, hit it, put your information in. This QR code registers you to win prizes. These prizes aren't a cutter. They're not an ashtray. They are actual real prizes like money, computers. I mean, we gave away
there was
Jeeps.
one you gave away a Bitcoin.
Yeah, a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people. Yes. And all you have to do is put your information in and you're registered. And you don't even have to join the party or the reveal party on March 14th to know what the actual cigars are going to be. You can still win. We post all the winners on our website, drewestate.com, right 24 hours after it is. We do the freestyle live on Facebook or YouTube. You can tune in onto either, whatever.
Yeah,
you're
you just go to the
comfortable
Drew
with.
Estate channel, huh? Just type in Drew Estate cigars, it'll pop up.
Yep. And then after you do that, then you can get into the kit. And the kit gives you some like little cool things. So they give you a wristband that you can hook your keys to, a lighter and a cutter. The cutter dubs as a cigar rest, and it's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavyweight. It's nice.
It's a nice.
Yeah.
It's not like a
cheap,
chat
flimsy,
plastic.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kit.
And the lighter, I like the lighter. It's like a longer torch lighter. It's got the window. You can see the butane.
And for men who don't like bulky things, I mean, this may be a little tall for your pants pocket, but it's easy to keep in a car. It's to keep in your not your carry on, but the
like a travel humidor?
Yeah, travel humidor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I use a plastic bag, so
Yeah.
I'm a little
I'm
ghetto
low-tech, too.
when it comes to that. But yes, it's very slim, so it fits anywhere. It's butane. It's a single shot. It'll light your cigar. It doesn't take 45 minutes. And if you're in a windy field, it does hold up. I mean, I'm not saying if you are sitting in front of a windstorm, it's going to hold up. But if it's a little windy, the flame will hold.
Yeah.
So, but you get all this for a value price at.
So we sell it for $45, but we have a discount code for free shipping.
Boom.
So 45 all day, free Drew. So FreeDrew at our website at shop.habanaport.com.
Boom.
So we have a few left. So yeah, we've sold that. We're almost.
I know
sold
you
out.
you ordered.
Yeah,
You were
I know,
like,
we
can
gotta
I
order
have
another.
one more kit? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I hope I can get one
Did
from
y'all sell
another
out?
territory.
Did y'all sell out?
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to. Typically, I know, like you all always do it. So I know who's going to do it. So I allocate you one.
cool. Yeah.
But even though you have two stores, I still allocate just one just because I have to be fair, right? I even do
Yeah,
it to the
that's
people
cool.
who have 5 stores. It doesn't matter. But if other territories can't sell out of their allotment, I can grab it, or another TM can grab it. So we can manipulate it. So that's why I was able to get you another one. But these are going to be great. So let me tell you a little bit about this cigar, because there are so many mixed reviews about this cigar out there on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you guys chat. It is loved and hated. Like literally split down the middle. So this cigar is built to be a mild cigar. Drew Estate doesn't have a mild cigar in our portfolio. We have the Undercrown Shade, which you're smoking right now. That is a medium to mild. It's not that traditional mild where, like, if you came up to me and you said, what is the mildest smoke I would offer, would be that. And that's not mild. That's not what you considered a mild. It's not a traditional mild. This is a traditional mild cigar. So people are a little like kind of put off by it because they were like, we were expecting a little bit more from this. And I'm like, well, it's meant to fit a certain bucket and within our portfolio.
That reminds me of when Padron, not to blow up another manufacturer, when they released the Damaso. You remember the Damaso, the white banded Padrones?
Yes, people
hated that.
Yep. But now
But they weren't the family wasn't targeting their traditional fans. They were trying to get like the really mild, like think of the Ashton classics or Davidoffs.
Yep, Monte Cristo number 2.
I never thought of that. Drew Estate was kind of missing that too.
No, because we have Undercrown Shade, we have Hoya Connecticut or Hoya Antonio CT.
But that's not a real true mild.
And then we have 20 Acre Farm, not a true mild. That's a medium build, like slightly medium light depending on your palate. Like I smoke all the time and it's still a medium to late bodied for me. And that's it, you know, and then Nica Rustica's medium, you know, you keep moving up. We have nothing that is actual for that person who wants something creamy and really mild.
Like you can smoke it first thing in the morning and you'll
with
be
a
fine.
couple, totally. Yes.
Like
totally.
you won't get woozy or anything. It's like low nicotine.
Nope. It's, the nicotine. I mean, again, I smoke so much.
How many cigars do you smoke a day?
A lot. I mean, it depends. If I'm driving, like I'm driving across the South right now,
6,
probably
7?
If I'm in my car for an hour, I have one cigar. If I'm in my car for 2, I have it. So I drove from Austin, Texas, all the way to Alabama. Takes you about like 13 hours with traffic and pee stops, if you will, and gas and whatnot. I probably smoked 8 cigars, maybe 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, because, I'm trying to be good. So, but so I smoke a lot. So
No,
on
I
my
appreciate
daily,
that. I'm the same way. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
always, if I could, I'd just be having a cigar all day.
Me too. And people, my boss riding with me, he's like, damn, girl, like already you're smoking. Like, we're not even at breakfast yet. Like, it's 8 a.m. and I got one lit up. And he's like, holy moly. Because I don't know. I love cigars. I just love them, especially and I guess this is like a cigarette thing, even though I'm not a cigarette smoker, never was, blah, blah, blah. But this, when people eat a big meal or a steak meal, they go smoke and they feel great. I love a cigar after a big meal, so I can understand.
It helps,
but I would never smoke a cigarette.
No, you're like a true cigar nerd.
Yes,
That's what I appreciate about.
I love it.
Yeah. I know, and people think that people like us are weird.
I
It's
know.
like, man, y'all gonna die soon. And it's like,
As
I
they
personally don't believe it, and I'm not claiming any medical. There's a
I can
risk,
get
I'm
into
sure.
that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like, who was it? I think someone had asked Warren Buffett years ago, like, man, you're a big fan of Coca-Cola. Aren't you afraid it's gonna kill you? It's like, yeah, probably, but you know what? I'm happier.
Yeah.
If I die, I die. But look at him; he's like 90-something years old.
Well, he
Drinks
just
like
died.
a ton. No, not Warren Buffett.
Oh,
He's
not
number
Warren,
2.
Not Warren, not
Charlie Munger.
Yes,
Yeah. He's number
sorry.
2.
Gotcha.
But I think he also
Yeah.
drank Coca-Cola and all that.
Yeah. Listen, if you when you see the old people on the news, the really 105, they just had their 105th birthday and they put it on the news. What do they say they do? They
Whiskey.
smoke
Yeah.
and whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's usually
The
not
same.
cigarettes, to be honest. It's usually a cigar or some kind of non-chemical ridden tobacco. But it's definitely they getting that whiskey in.
I know, exactly. That's a preservative. It's probably
Yes, I know. I think it's so funny. People are and then the ones that are super healthy and don't eat meat and all of a sudden they have cancer. They're dying 2 months later. I'm like, oh my God, you should have had a beer.
the founder of the Power Bar. Remember the Power Bar? He was
Oh yeah, the Power Bar. Yeah, old school.
He was a marathon runner. He died in
yeah.
his 50s.
Yep.
So
I think he ran himself into the grave.
now I'm not
Papa!
saying
Just kidding.
that's every case.
Oh no, there's not in every case
But
and everything.
I think it's because we've had this discussion all the time on the podcast. I think whatever you're doing or whatever activity you're engaging, if you really derive happiness and a relaxed, lower the heart rate, that could be the trick. I mean, you could probably just have a placebo, just a stick. You're not even inhaling. Just if you somehow that it gives you pleasure to sit, force you to sit down.
Yeah.
I mean, it might help you relax.
Yeah, that
So who knows?
and so the FDA, we're always fighting the FDA up there, especially Drew Estate, because we have acid and we have a lot of non-traditional brands, not in flavored, just infused or non-traditional, and they fall in that category that we think that marketing to children or all this nonsense, which really they're marketing the vape, right? They want to get rid of vape because vape is really hitting the kids, and it is. It's juicy fruity and all these kinds of crazy things. It does,
and that hooks them.
It does, because it doesn't taste like tobacco. It tastes like a Fruit Loop, so it's completely different experience than when I was a kid. And if you wanted to try a cigarette, you're smoking a Marlboro or some kind of cigarette that's real, right? Like a Camel, and you're going to choke to death because it's disgusting, right?
Yeah.
But not with vape. Vape tastes like Fruit Loops or candy or gum or whatever. So, but with the FDA, trying to come down and do flavor ban and FDA wants flavors off the market, premium, non-premium, whatever. But the FDA also markets tobacco, right? They don't market it, but they regulate it. So what's the number one selling cigarette in the world, do you think? Flavor-wise.
Flavor? Flavored cigarette?
Yeah.
I don't even know of any flavored cigarettes.
Well, the only flavored cigarette really is mint.
Menthol. Oh,
yes.
yeah. Cools?
So I don't know, maybe,
but just
Newport,
some menthol.
But it's the number one selling cigarette across the entire world. There is no way in hell they're gonna tell a premium manufacturer that doesn't have any defining like body. Like there's no defining
like characteristics
flavor.
or,
in any of our tobacco. We don't pull cherry. We don't do berry. We don't do any of that. It's all infused and like acids infused with botanicals and enrichments. You can't pull vanilla out of that. You could, because everybody's preferential taste is different than mine, but I can't. Like it's infused. It's not flavored, and there are two different processes there. So, but going back to the FDA's own ruling, their own scientific facts and rulings Drew Estate took and used against them, because basically they were saying that like flavors are this. Well, flavors are a defining characteristic, but tell me which characteristic in like acid can you pull out? You can't.
Yeah.
So if the FDA like ever really did a flavor ban across the country, which I don't think they can, I think it's going to be more state ridden, because states have more control over their state, which we've already seen. Massachusetts has one. I don't know. Somebody else had. There's like 3 states or 4 states that have it. I think even Colorado.
California, I think parts of it, or at least certain jurisdictions like local.
Yeah, but even that gets a little funky with like the laws, because if you're in one jurisdiction that abuts another, are you allowed? You know, like, so it's just a shit show.
Yeah.
But I don't think we just won a big thing on that anyway. But I think that going forward, I think we did a really good thing. Like we have Drew Estate hired an entire legal team that works in our warehouse in Rhode Island. No, in Miami. In our warehouse, like our offices is connected to our warehouse. They are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fighting for not just Drew Estate's rights, but everybody who smokes something that isn't deemed traditional. So, or just deemed traditional. I mean, they're always trying to tax our right to smoke out of business. You know, like it's awful. So
that's pretty noble. Like I didn't realize. I mean, I knew Drew Estate was putting in money to fight the legalities with this stuff, but like. It's really helping out the whole industry.
Big money. Yeah. PCA does the same thing.
Yeah.
They lobby
CRA.
against it. 100%. Yep. And so like everybody thought that we dropped out of PCA and that we didn't support everybody's, right to fight for tobacco, right? But that's not true. We always remained members. We always paid our dues. We just didn't go to the show. For reasons, who knows? I'm the low girl on the street. I'm not Ivory Tower. You can ask that to somebody else. But with that being said, I think that it was a misconception that Drew Estate, and not just Drew Estate, the other people.
There was Altadis, Davidoff, General, or SCG.
Yep. But there were other.
But all our incentives are aligned, right? We all want to remain.
We all want to be able to smoke what we want to smoke when we want to smoke it, and not be taxed out the asshole. Sorry, for it. So. With that being said, like we all are doing our fights. You guys, as retailers, do yours. You guys.
Yeah, we go to the state capital here and have to fight constantly. I was just there in the last session.
Really good.
Yeah, I forgot. It was they were trying to. It was some sort of revenue issue.
With tobacco?
Yeah, I think with cigars. Oh, that's what it was. Someone in northern Louisiana put in a bill. I think either to like eradicate the excise tax for Louisiana.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, but it wasn't really planned well, unfortunately. We got like notice like the day before. So I'm like, oh, unfortunately I'm in Baton Rouge, so I was able to go the next day and kind of give our take. And man, there was this one guy from Denham Springs, I think, or somewhere in Livingston Parish, and I wish I knew his name, I'd blow him up. But he was like so vocal, like, I don't know, like he was anti-tobacco. And I told him, look, with respect, I mean, regardless of what your views are on tobacco, this is a revenue issue.
Yeah.
Like there's another session for like that.
What you feel.
Yeah, but he was irrational and just, I'm going to have to get that name and blow him up because, I mean, he's in an area that's typically conservative, usually like pro-tobacco. I'm sure his constituents don't even know his stance on that. Like they would probably vote him out if they found out.
Yeah.
But I'll have to find that out and just blow him up.
Yeah.
Or, expose who he is and,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're constantly having to fight, everything from like the local, the state, national.
Yep.
And then you've seen like the generational ban movement. Are you familiar with that?
So in Switzerland, they passed anybody after 2021 or 2020. I don't remember the exact date. Yeah. But anybody born after that date cannot buy tobacco in that country.
Yeah, I think that's the next playbook for the
You
anti-tobacco
think for
people.
America? I don't think
They're trying. There were a few jurisdictions that already put that in. I don't know if they actually passed it.
To try and say that you can't
buy tobacco
after you were. Yeah. I think it was California, right?
And I think it's a city or a few cities in California that are trying that.
Yeah, I did read something about that because they were trying to do that with electric vehicles as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? So then I started, researching more about if they're going to do that to electric or oil, fed cars, they're definitely going to try to do it to tobacco. Those people are crazy.
Which I'm sure this topic has been explored by numerous other podcasts and other media. I mean, we saw what happened this past winter when it got so cold, these electric cars couldn't even start. Because, I mean, the temperature is they can only operate in a certain temperature range.
Listen,
how are they going to account for that?
I don't know. I'm not completely against
I'm not against electric either.
I'm not completely against it. I just don't see the infrastructure for it, and I understand that they're trying to build it, blah blah blah. But I honestly don't. I live in Texas. Okay, I live in Austin, which is growing by the droves, right? So our infrastructure, when I moved there 6 years ago, couldn't support the infrastructure for electricity, couldn't even support what they already had. Wow. Now you have 1 million plus in different cities around Austin that are moving in, and they're building and building. Mm-hmm. We don't have water, we don't have electricity for these people. But they want us to have electric cars.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't get it. And then you've got Elon Musk out there with his giant plant, ruining. I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It is. It's nuts. That's a whole other issue. But
now to pivot, when did you start in the cigar industry, and where were you from? Because you were.
I was from. Well, I'm originally from California, but when I started in the cigar industry, I was in New England.
Okay.
I went to UNLV. I worked at Casa Fuente. I didn't know what Casa Fuente meant.
I didn't know you worked at Casa Fuente.
I worked there for 8 months, right?
Okay.
End of my degree.
Okay.
And I had no idea what Casa Fuente. I wasn't a smoker at all. I was.
You
actually
didn't know it was a landmark for the cigar industry.
I didn't know. The girls. So I worked at the Bellagio. I was cocktail waitressing. I was always a bartender through my college career.
Okay.
But in Vegas, there's a lot of steps you have to get to become a bartender. So especially in those big properties like the Bellagio, MGM, and so forth. So there's a lot of different things you have to do. So with that being said, I was a cocktail waitress. So, but you had to wear basically a bra and underwear, right? I didn't want to do that. Don't get me wrong. I was in my early 20s. I looked dope. It had nothing to do with my I feel uncomfortable. It's just I didn't want to do that. It's not something I wanted to do for me. And
it's not sustainable, right? That's only a short, a limited shelf life, right?
Hell no. Some girls have been working that floor for 40 years, and they are great. They look good. They're cute. I mean, they're older, but they still rock that shit. Yeah, hell no.
But you got to maintain that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you're walking miles. Yeah, they get exercise. It has nothing to do with their arms are. Yeah, no. You can do that job until you probably not 80, because then that's.
I didn't know if they were strict about that.
No.
They had standards.
So, different properties, different things, but no, there are older people who do that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I walked by Casa Fuente, and they had sheer stuff over their bra and underwear. So I was like, they're more covered than me. Let me go see if I can get in here. And they did. They were hiring, so I got on, and they were like, here, you have to learn all of this. I'm like, what the hell is that? And they were like, I was like, this is a cigar place? Oh my God, the smell. Oh, I can't.
I didn't know you were
look at me.
Yeah.
I wasn't anti.
You just weren't.
I wasn't a smoker.
I
didn't want. I was a fitness model at that point. I was making extra money on the side doing that shit. So no. Yeah. But anyway, so I worked there for about 8 months, and then for me, I still didn't want to smoke it. I liked the growing. I like
the science.
I like the science background. So for me, it was I can, I looked at it like this, right? I'm in college. I'm trying to make money. That was food. If you were to work at a restaurant, I was a bartender, right? I never really served a lot of food, but I worked at bars that had food. Food adds onto your bill, which creates a bigger check, which you get a bigger tip. Yeah. Yes. So do cigars. I looked at it like food. So I wanted to learn everything I could about it so that I would be educated, smart, understand it. They could talk to me about it, which created a dialect, which created relationships, and I made more money. That was my end game. Wow. I wanted to make some dough, and I made a lot of money.
You were an effective salesperson.
Yes,
doing that.
I was.
And understanding the product was what it sounds like.
Well, 100%, because if you don't understand your product, how can you sell it?
Yeah.
Yes. And at that point, I wasn't like a smoker. Like I'd puff one here or there and be like, you know, and get lightheaded, whatever. Anyway, then I finished my degree. I go work at Pfizer for a year and a half, being miserable, hate my life, whatever. I leave Pfizer and I go back home to Rhode Island, and a cigar bar was looking for a bar manager. And I was like, well, I need money, right? So this is how I know how to make money. So I went, applied. It was a cigar bar. I was like, oh, I can do this. I work there. I kind of know. I can kind of get around. And I started working there. Wow. And it was called Cigar Masters, Providence. We had the oldest cigar shop in Boston, or one of. They're all closed now. They all went. Oh. They didn't go tits up, but one was sold. Boston was sold. Providence was sold, and then sold to a bar, and they don't do tobacco, so whatever. So
kind of died, huh?
Yeah.
Sean worked there too, huh?
So I hired Sean.
Did you really?
Yes, I hired Sean. I hired what's the other one's name over there? The one that's out of Florida. The heck's his name?
From SDG? You were?
No, he doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
I think he's. Oh yeah, he. I don't know. I don't remember. Oh my God, he's gonna be pissed if he listens to this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I hired a whole bunch of people. Wow. Yeah. So, Jeremy Soares, who used to work.
I've heard of Jeremy. I don't know him though.
He's great. Everybody has mixed opinions about that guy, but he's wonderful. I love him to death. Yeah. He hired me at. Actually, no, he didn't hire me. Freaking John, who works for Christoph out of Vegas. I don't know. I'm
him.
Totally blanking on his last name, which he'll also slap me for. Yep. Anyway, he hired me originally at Cigar Masters Providence, and then he ended up leaving, and I ended up taking his position. But anyway, Jeremy Soares and I worked together, but Jeremy left to go work at my father's cigars as a sales manager out in New England. Okay. And so while I ran cigar shops, he did that side. But he's epic. But he actually owns a cigar shop out in the Northeast in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is beautiful. Okay. But then I work for Kurt Kendall. Yeah. And that was probably the best sales experience that I have ever gotten in my career until now. The way that Kurt Kendall handles like the consumer end, he's epic. Like he's just great. Like everybody loves him. He's a humble guy, even though
he's super sweet. Yeah, I met him. We've carried 724 cigars. That's his brand.
Yep. And then I work for 724 Cigars, working at the trade shows and stuff, and kind of doing some business for him. But I was running one of his stores, so I worked for him for a few years. Cigar Masters was in trouble. They asked me to come back. I came back and then ran it for like a year and a half where I got burnt out and I wanted to go surf in California, and I left there. And then I ended up running the lounge that I left to come to Drew Estate, which was Vintage Cigar Lounge and Club in Westerly. And they're phenomenal. I love them. They're like my family. So they're still there. They're rocking and rolling. They're beautiful bar, everything. Like they have the best brown water bar, obviously, because I set it up.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, it's totally like any bourbon, whiskey, scotch, anything you think you can't get, you can get it there. Wow. So, and they have a giant humidor. It's one of the bigger ones in New England, because New England's known for a lot of cigar bars, but not a lot of footprint for the humidor. It's not like what you have. It's
we're opposite. Like all cigar, no alcohol.
Yes, but you have a giant footprint. Like they're a big footprint for a bar. But they have all brands, just like, most people, but
Now to ask you about your trip to Puro Sabor.
How was that? You could say it in your Spanish.
You asked me about before we came on, do I speak Spanish? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm what they consider you ever heard the term no sabo kid?
Yes.
So I grew up with, obviously Hispanic parents. I learned Spanish young, but I forgot a lot of it growing up. Wow. So like my grammar is like so bad. So no sabo, it should be yo no sé. Like I don't know. Yeah. But the no sabo means I'm conjugating it wrong because I butcher it. Yeah. So I can kind of get around, but I'm definitely not proficient. In fact, when I try to go to Spanish or Latin restaurants or Mexican restaurants, I'll try to speak Spanish. And I guess they can tell my gringo accent. They're like, no, we're speaking to you in English. Yeah. I'm like, oh, Oh man, I want to
That's
practice.
funny because they try with me.
They
And
try to speak
yes, because
Spanish with
I'm
you?
doing Babbel because I want to be proficient by next year when I go back to Puro Sabor. I want to be able to speak Spanish. Not necessarily like you don't need this. I want it for myself because there were so many people from all over the country that speak all these different languages, and I was like, there was like a few people there that had multiple languages under their belt, and that's something that I'm deficient in, and I want to learn, and I will. So, with that being said, I am doing Babbel, so I try. I'm like,
How far are you into it, Babbel?
I'm there.
You starting it,
I mean, asi.
Yeah. Oh, see. Okay, there you go.
But I feel like when I was in Nicaragua for Puro Sabor, I picked it up faster.
Yeah.
As soon as you leave and you start, it just goes
You gotta
away.
be immersed in it. You gotta be
have
immersed in it.
to.
Yeah.
So I started watching like Telemundo,
Nice.
so that I
Yeah,
can kind of understand like just the way to speak it, because there's a lot of different ways to speak a certain language. Like, I live in Austin, Texas, which, down we have the Valley, which borders Mexico, and they speak different Spanish than say like a Dominican does, or a Puerto Rican, or a person from Spain. Like every dialect is different. So I try, and my Valley accounts love it because they all speak fluent, obviously, and because they're all Mexican, and they're like trying to help me. So sometimes they won't even talk to me in English. So I'll try to put an order in. Yeah, they're forcing me to do it. I'm like, if I mess this up, it's your fault. And they're like, no.
Yeah. Oh man, well, that's awesome that they're helping you out.
Oh yeah, it is good. But back to Puro Sabor. So
so what is that? What is that for people who don't know?
It is a Nicaraguan cigar festival.
Okay.
It has been on for 12 years. Next year will be 13. It's basically like all the manufacturers that are in Nicaragua, you can go go on tours, right? Like you can go see it and blah blah blah. But you don't go through like Drew Estate to get the ticket. It's put on by it's supported by the manufacturers, but it's put on by the Puro Sabor group, which is affiliated with some of like Rubio. Rubio works for us at Drew Estate, but he's also like we call him the mayor of Esteli.
Oh,
but
nice.
Anyway, he's not. But it's put on by, people that are Nicaraguan, and basically you can get a ticket. I don't know when they go on sale, but let me tell you, as soon as they do, if you don't buy it, because they limit it, it's either 250 or 300 people, and that's it, because it's small, and it's meant to be small because
they want it to be intimate.
They want it to be intimate, and like if you go on this trip, it is phenomenal. I loved it. Like for the one aspect, if you go on a group tour with like a manufacturer, awesome. You're gonna get intimate time too, because whatever. You're there with them. You're not going to get to see 5 different manufacturers. You're going to maybe see 1 or 2, maybe 3, but typically 1 or 2.
Yeah, just that one.
Yeah. Or sometimes they'll take you to other properties. Like for Drew Estate, because we don't grow tobacco, we take you to like Hoya de Nicaragua is our sister company. We'll take you to their fields if we have time, and their factory. So you get to see more than one.
Okay.
But some of the other companies, Placencia, you would be able to see their factory and they're growing. But it's one company. So anyway, but you get to see all these manufacturers, and you don't see them in groups of 40 or 30 or 15. Wow. Sometimes the group is 6 to like 12 people. And so you get real time with these people, and you get real feedback. Like you can ask in-depth questions, and certain every factory,
every little minutia.
Everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
Every tour I went on who grew tobacco, growing tobacco is the same way that we've been doing it since the 1800s, right? So probably before that. But anyway, each manufacturer does something different to make their tobacco stand out, right? Like, so, Oliva Tobacco Growing Company, they are big testing. Like they test diseases in the seeds and the plants and how that affects certain plants and all kinds of stuff. So they do more of they don't just do that. They grow tobacco too, but they grow tobacco for everybody, right? But they do a lot of testing. So that's like their niche. Like they have they call him the seed guy, and he's been doing testing.
I think that would be like the semillero or something like that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah,
Okay,
you try it. I'm not going to fumble.
But they have their
I'm
seed
not
guy.
there yet on my babble.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if they call them that, but I think
Well,
that's what.
he's only seeds. Like he
Oh,
only
wow.
sits. He does testing, mitating.
What's mitating?
Like when you put two seeds together and you mitate them, so they
Like a
breed
hybrid?
together. Like a hybrid, yeah. But the actual process is mitating. So
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that.
yeah, but it's go back to what do you call it?
It's like
when
Genetics 101, huh, I guess.
yeah. But what is it when the flowers like it's the same as any
Like grafting?
no
Kinda? Oh.
you would like in a microscope like you would finely because you can't. I mean, you could see a seed, but like you would
Yeah,
take
those
them
tobacco
apart.
seeds are tiny.
Yeah, oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're like a pepper
Pinheads,
speck.
yeah.
Yeah, super small. But anyway, you would basically genetically pull them apart and put another one in there and have them breed together. But it takes years of practice and time, and he does all of it. He tests everything. Like he tests. It was so cool. Like I could go on and on and on. But
Oh, you could spend some time with him just asking.
I did.
Yeah, nerd
and people
questions,
are
yeah.
like, okay, cool. This is awesome. I'm like, but wait,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Let me see your testing. And like he did, he showed us like how he tests certain things and how he could pull pH level by like just using so, which I found out, which I thought was weird. In Nicaragua and in Esteli specifically, you are not allowed to use drones unless you get permission from the government.
What?
So, like, you know how, like, you could field test? Like, I'm sure farmers in America use it where they can use, like, crop testing. They can actually pull the pH levels and stuff from drones.
Yeah.
And they just go over. So, it's not manhandled. They could do it in a second. They can survey the property and do it in a day
Maybe
instead
take
of
a mineral composition analysis.
the entire thing from a drone.
Wow.
But in Nicaragua, you can't do that. You have to have permission from the government to use drones. So, with that being said, everything is done manually by labor. So, it takes a little bit longer, but they get it done and they know what they're doing and they know what to look for and they know how to test now. So, like, but they've been doing this testing for 25, 40, I think it's like 40 some odd years.
Yeah.
He's been with this growing company. And then one of my other great takeaways was Placencia. And Placencia uses earthworms to create organic material, the earth,
cool.
like the soil, to use.
Probably enriches it, huh?
Well, it's so he uses the shit out of earthworms because they process it, right? And it eventually becomes organic material after they process the same shit that they're in over and over and over again. And which is funny because like if you go to like what we deem as organic in America, there's so many different FDA bullshit regulations. Not it's very difficult to get something
There are a
completely.
lot of different standards. Yeah, no,
But
there's this Oregon standard,
Yes,
this other,
it's
all over the
bullshit.
place.
Yeah, but if we don't even know where we get our food products from. I will go. That will be a whole other.
I know. We'll have to,
get
discuss
crazy.
that.
But when he takes what he calls from the earthworm's poo, he calls it black gold. And I said, oh, Ernesto, like you can't say that because black gold in Texas is oil.
Oh.
He goes, well, this is my oil, girl. I was like, oh
Nice.
shit, yes.
Nicaraguan oil.
Oh yeah, and he treats these earthworms like we treat humans, but he also treats his humans good as
No,
well.
I know.
But
Yeah, I know what you mean. He has a reverence for this other species. Yeah.
Yes, he's and again he does it for his bees. Like he makes honey on the side. It's his own thing because he's a farmer. Like I'm a master beekeeper, so I
didn't know
totally
that.
get it.
Oh,
Like
man.
I love it. Like the pollination and all kinds of stuff. Like he's a farmer. Like that's what he loves. Like he loves the end product and he's glad that everybody smokes his cigars. But what he is enjoying is what I enjoyed when I first got in this industry, which is the ground, the soil, the chemistry, the science, just the love of the earth, because that's what comes. That's a flavor. That's where you're getting all your flavor is from that ground. It's not the plant. It's where it's grown. I mean, obviously seeds do take flavor profiles and so forth and so on, but whatever. So
It's the environment, right?
it's the environment. Yeah. And to that regard, Ernesto, plants flowers all over. I mean, and he's a 5th generation tobacco grower. So 138 years, people, right, that he's been growing tobacco. But so he has, I mean, massive, massive growing farms, like shaded, not shaded, whatever. And he doesn't just have it in Nicaragua. He also has it in Honduras as well, or Ecuador, one of the two, but or maybe both. But anyway, he plants flowers everywhere, so that his people, Like his workers, his laborers will come and they don't have to look at a shitty barn. They don't have to look at a broke down or just a field. They can see a flower.
Yeah,
So they don't feel like
it's not in an industrial setting. It's
yes.
part of the world, part of nature.
And it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure that helps like people's like make like their outlook or their mental health.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. So and I don't know if it was his wife or his sister-in-law because I can't remember because I saw a lot of people that week. You get bombarded. But they have a school on their property for all of their workers. So similar to Drew Estate, we actually have our own health care. We bus our people in from wherever they are. Like we take care of our people. We pay them more than most of the other companies do. So with that being said, they have a school, like his sister-in-law or his wife or whomever, I think it was his sister-in-law, has a school for all the children. And all the children made us like little bags with their handprints on it and they wrote us hand cards. Yeah. It was just a wonderful experience. It was obviously you're learning about tobacco and that black gold that those earthworms are shitting out, which he takes great care of. But he takes great care of his people. So like there were other factories that I will not name that I was disappointed. I was completely disappointed. It looked like a what do you call it?
Like industrial kind of like depressing.
Yes, the factory was jamming out. They were busy because it's a big manufacturer, but
it's like no soul or
soul. Everybody wasn't smiling. Like if you go into certain factories and people are happy and they have like mats to stand on or seats, right? Like those are like things that you don't think about, but I think about them because that's where I am. Like that's how I think. And when I walked into this factory, there was trash all over the place, and it wasn't like trash, like, they're busy, so it is dirty. So, but no mats.
Like cluttered.
Yeah, no mats. They're on top of each other. Everybody's miserable. It's hot, so I can't imagine when it's peak season in summer, when it's 105 degrees and these people are, I felt bad, and nobody smiled. Everybody's miserable. I won't name that factory's name, but I thought, wow, they don't even have like a seat, nothing. So anyway, but then you go to other factories like Ernesto's or Hoya de Nicaragua, where the people are happy and you can tell they're in, they're sitting. Yeah. They have, they
have nice amenities that, like you said, maybe we overlook, but it makes a difference.
Yep. Drew Estate. So like one thing I took home from Drew Estate has, when I first went to Drew Estate years ago, like 2007, I don't know. It was a long time ago. Anyway, they had 7 women that would roll Liga. We are now at 28 and 1 guy.
Oh, wow.
So a guy made it in.
Wow.
But now I thought that was like growth, right? Like I've been with this company for 6 years. I was a retailer, selling them for years prior. So to see their growth and just like a company that told, everybody told Jonathan Drew he would never amount to shit. Really? What are you, crazy?
Oh, I've heard the stories, like him getting kicked out at shops in the beginning.
100%. They were like, I'm not selling your shit. We don't even know what's in it. And, blah, 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 blah. Well, come to look, the growth period, right? Like, it's just amazing to see companies grow like that. Like Hoya as well. Hoya's always maintained. They make cigars for everybody. They make cigars for themselves.
Yeah, they're like the classical like cigar
the
company.
Oldest cigar
Latin,
making. Yeah, they're the oldest cigar making company in Nicaragua. So they've been there over 50 plus 5-6 years. Yeah. So it's just different. Like everybody had their own pull away.
Like culture and like value system.
Yeah. And you would see it. Like, so you would get like different feels from different people. And then, so I just thought it was really interesting because like, I've been doing this a long time. So for me, I get a little monotonous in my job, right? Like everybody does, right? And like I'm very open and transparent with my company, so this isn't going to get me fired. And if it does, I might come ask you for a job.
Yeah. Hey, you can be a great host here. Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, I mean, and you're being transparent, but like still a great ambassador for your company.
Oh yeah.
And I love people like you that work the industry in a way that you're trying to educate maybe beginners or even veterans that they just didn't have this kind of extra insight. You know?
Yeah. And I think the more transparent you are with my retailer and my consumer, or your consumer, but we're all, everybody's one in one.
The cigar
right?
smoker,
Yeah. I don't have to lie. Like I don't have to, make up a story
you don't
and
feel
then remember.
Or you're peddling something that you don't believe in.
Hell no. And that's another thing. Like it took me a long time to come to this side of the business. I was a retailer for way longer than I've been on this side.
Okay.
And it took me that long because I wasn't ready as a person to like do it, and also, or personally. And then also, like, I'd only work for 2 brands. Like, I wouldn't. I would only work for Drew Estate or Davidoff. Like, this is years ago, but like those are the only 2 companies that I would have ever worked for. Being a retailer and seeing how they worked, seeing their portfolio and how they could manipulate things, and those are the only 2 companies. And like, I was just lucky enough that Drew Estate, needed someone, and my ass got hired.
Yeah. Well, I can attribute, you've been awesome for us. Like, I love having you come here. You're so happy all the time.
Always, yeah. Except when I get in my car, then I go, motherfucker. Yeah. No, not you, but just in general, I got to drive in traffic.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. And if you're around here, we don't have to tell you Baton Rouge traffic's like the worst.
Well, it is bad, but it's not as bad as Austin.
Really?
Or Houston. Hell.
Well, I know there's a lot more people there. It's just our infrastructure is just not set up for the population, so there's gridlock all the time here.
Come to Austin. Come to Austin for.
I need to go. I want to go.
5 hours. Drive on 35. You'll get nowhere for 5 hours. Oh yeah, it's the same. It's a similar setup. Like the infrastructure wasn't meant for all these people, and Austin is the capital of Texas, which I always think Dallas is, but Houston was. Do you know that Houston was the original capital?
Oh wow.
And then again, I do a lot of research. Houston was the capital. I don't remember. Maybe in like 1950, 20s. I don't know when it switched, but then they switched it to Austin. I was like, that's odd. Yeah. But anyway, so Austin, it wasn't built for all that. So yeah.
Well, look, I know you're short on time. I don't want to keep you. I could keep going. I know you got appointments and you're always like full in your calendar. So I got to stop it here, unless you want to keep going. But
I appreciate it.
You got to go.
I mean, I'm a little late. She'll be fine, but it's fine.
Well, tell her it was my fault. So you can blame me.
I will. I'm transparent.
Yeah. Well, before you go, I got a final segment. If you would help me, it's a lightning round. So just quite quick question and answer. All right. Number 1, Tabasco, Crystal, or other hot sauce.
Crystal.
Okay. Number 2. Favorite vacation destination?
Oof, that's difficult. I don't know. Anywhere I'm on vacation.
Yeah, anywhere. Okay, good. Number 3, who would you want to smoke a cigar with, alive or deceased? It could be anyone.
Avo,
nice. Okay.
Yeah. He was always at Corona. And I was in Florida once. I met him, but he was on his way out, and I didn't get there early enough to go have a cigar with him.
Was that at the Orlando trade show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I think that's when I saw him, is at the Orlando, maybe.
Well, yeah, it would have been because he
died.
That
was 2012.
Yeah. But no, for 724 Cigars, we were trying to infiltrate the Florida market, so I went down there with Kurt, and we went to Corona. And
you saw Jeff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Jeff Borchwich is actually the part owner of 20 Acre Farm, which we distribute. Well, we make and distribute, but it's delicious. But yes. No, we did not meet Jeff. Actually, we met his managers when I was with 724, but now I know him.
Number 4. Okay, for cigar industry people, I ask, it's a 2-part. Desert Island cigar that you would only smoke from your portfolio, and then Desert Island cigar from any other manufacturer.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm up for mine. It's either UF 13 or Liga 10. Okay. I love the Aniversario. I can smoke that little shitter all day.
Nice.
But L40 I haven't had in so long, and I don't know. So it has to be 3. I love L40 because I have my Lancero chick. So that's good too.
So some sort of LP or
yes,
10.
but my everyday cigar is Herrera Esteli Habano.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my love.
And then another manufacturer outside your estate.
Ooh, God. Well, I don't know. Like, I just, I've always been a huge Tatuaje fan.
Okay.
But I've also been a huge Illusion fan. So, like, their little Rothschilds.
Oh, yeah, it's classic.
I buy those on a reg. So, because they're quick and they're different than what I have in my portfolio. But I do a lot of tats. Oh, my God. I don't know. Now I'm into Placencia. Yeah. I don't know. That's too hard. I don't know. I smoke everybody's shit.
Pass.
Send them to me. Just send me your cigars. I'll smoke them.
Yeah, nice. And then last one. Who would you want to see here on a future podcast episode?
Another female in the industry.
Okay.
Because there's not.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of us now. Like when I first started, there was probably 2. And usually they were brand ambassadors and they're out there, more selling their body than they are selling their brain. There are people out there still doing that now, which I'm not knocking it. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I want to see in this industry. I want to see a woman use her brain and her own ability besides her body to sell herself, right? Like, or to even be in this industry, just doing whatever, like, capacity. Like, actually, Drew Estate, on my team, we call us the West Coast Best Coast. We have all females except for 2 boys. Well, we had a boy. We don't know we're getting another boy or a girl, but whatever. We have 1 boy, and then the rest are females, and we crush all of the other markets in my company. Like, West Coast is the best coast. Sorry, New England. Sorry, Central. We win.
Well, no, to your point, I mean, and I think there are more females. Obviously, a lot of the cigar rollers need it, or people behind the scenes, but even like some of these brand owners aren't anything without their ladies. I mean, our industry's actually always been very pro-woman. It's just, I think from the end consumer side in America, it's still seen as like male-dominated activity, which I never... You know, for me, I'm a greedy businessman. I want everyone to smoke. You know?
Which is funny. So the biggest consumer growing market is women, and it's Black women, to be specific. Like, those girls are coming out here. They're coming out here strong. They're going into shops, and they're not feeling that pressure.
Yeah, or that intimidation. Or,
no. And so
I love seeing that.
I want to see more women. I don't care what color you are, or race, or creed, or whatever. I don't care. He, she, it, whatever you go by. Come on and smoke. And like have a good conversation, because if you come into a shop like Habana Port, you are going to find a plethora of people that are either like-minded, not like-minded, but you're all going to have a common bond, which is the cigar, which is the leaf, and y'all are going to have a good time, and you're going to learn shit you didn't think you would ever learn. You know, like it's this industry is that it's family. A lot of bickering. It's like high school, you know. We got a lot of gossip.
Or sibling rivalry.
Yes, you know, but it's a wonderful, wonderful industry. Even if you're not working in it, if you're participating in it as a consumer, just go to your local shop and, you know, spread the love.
Well, with that, thank you so much, Jennylynn. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
You're always invited next time, or whatever.
Woohoo, I'm in.
Yep, you're in. All right, guys, take care.